What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever STM Sports live show. I am here with my man GI over there on that side, my man Potelou on the other side. We're about to kick this show off and ready to talk about UFC 248 and the card.
Yeah, baby.
And we will be back in one second. Oh, it's got me playing through.
Yeah, baby.
There we go. Here we go, guys. And we're back. All right, guys, what's up?
Not much, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. We don't got too many folks in here right now. First show on the new channel, so kind of expected. But Mark is in here. What's up, Mark? Mark, can you hear everybody? Just want to make sure it's working properly. You hear me?
What's up, Mark? Can you hear me?
Mark? Mark, you hear my fingers clicking away?
Trying to wait on Mark real quick, see if he answers. Yeah, you can hear all. All right, awesome. So we can kick it off. So guys, you guys excited for UFC 248?
Yeah, man. Big time.
Yes, sir.
It's one hell of a card.
That's what's up. I agree. 100% excited for it to get started. Tomorrow night should be a lot of fun. On paper, it's a really, really good card, especially the main card. That's just packed, top to bottom. But there's even some awesome fights in the prelims. Sean O'Malley's back after a long time. You got Mark Madsen versus Austin Hubbard, should be pretty good. And on the early prelims, you got my girl Polyana Viana's up there against Emily Whitmire. It looks like Emily Whitmire is actually favored in that fight. But I like Polyana.
You have Meerkat versus Wim.
Yeah,
that looks like it's gonna be a good brawl. I saw them on the weigh-in, and they were fired up. There's some animosity there for sure.
It should be good. Otelu, what fight are you most excited about for?
You know it. Your favorite fighter.
Seriously, bro?
JJ.
That's the fight you want to watch the most? Listen,
I'm excited. I'm damn near equally excited on. I want to see the Yoel versus Stylebender a little bit more, but I can't wait to see JJ freaking versus what's the name again? Wiley?
Yeah, Wei Li Zhang.
Wiley. Yeah.
All right, so
I'm damn near equally excited.
For those of you guys that don't know, Otelu loves JJ. that's his girl.
Love JJ.
That's my girl.
That's his girlfriend. He loves JJ.
Come on, Lee. That's your favorite fighter too, man. You know.
Nah, man. Listen, I'm sorry, bro, but we'll talk about it more. But your girlfriend's gonna get beat the hell up, and she's gonna go right out of the UFC. It's gonna be 3 fights, 3 losses in a row.
Nah, Mark Riley, actually, I don't think Emily did make weight. She was on the weigh-in. She was apologizing to Dana.
But the fight was still on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't canceled any fights.
Yeah, they didn't cancel it, but I don't think she did make weight, or maybe she did. I didn't catch the end of that. I'm not sure if she did.
Yeah, because I know I saw her. She got on the scale, and then she was giving the thumbs down because her weight was off by, I think, maybe just a few pounds, not too much.
Oh man! So let's talk about some of these fights, right? Because a lot of people might not know that this whole card is pretty stacked. Even people's names that this is one thing I love about UFC. I mean MMA in general, but especially UFC. They don't really give you fights where they're not, at least on paper, pretty evenly matched. And this whole card, pretty much top to bottom, is pretty crazy as far as like being close. I mean, I'm gonna slide over real quick to right here. So the very first fight on the card, you got, I can't say his last name too well, but Batgerel versus Kennedy. It's minus 140. Batgerel's the favorite. Kennedy is plus 110. And if we click up in here, you can see their records and everything, KOs, TKOs. So you can learn a lot about, fighters, even if you haven't watched them fight before. You can see a decent amount of stuff about them just based on this to get an idea of what they do. Like this right here, down here on grappling, takedown average 2.8, 50% accuracy, 75% defense, submission average 0.31. So he's not much of a submission fighter, but he clearly, Kennedy clearly likes to go for takedowns, and Badgerel clearly doesn't. Although we don't, well, actually, I don't know, because.
And that's funny that Kennedy does like to go for takedowns, because he hasn't. I think his last fight was against Marlon Vera, and he lost that to a submission. And I think he had another fight versus Kang Yu Ho, and he lost that to a submission as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Guido's solid though, man. This is gonna be
for sure. Guido Kennedy is a good fighter.
I can't even choose. I can't even pick. I have no idea who's gonna take this one.
I mean, I'll make a prediction, and I'm gonna go with Kennedy just because I know what kind of fighter he is. He's actually the underdog, which brings me to another topic. If we're talking about Draftkings, you can look over here in Draftkings and look up their pricing. So for any of you guys out there that, let me just swipe this back real quick. Any of you guys out there that don't use Draftkings, if you like to like sort of, I mean, you can do free stuff with your friends. You can, actually put money in. It's like fantasy sports, but you can actually do it for the UFC on DraftKings. So me and Potelu and GI and some other people, we have our own little group where we do it. I'm creating a STM Sports group so that anybody that's, on the channel and wants to get in and do it, we can do it there too. So let me go back to DraftKings real fast and just show you guys, like, the way this works is you got to put together 6 fighters out of this whole card, your top 6 picks to try to get the most points, and you get a total salary of 50,000. Shows you your average remaining per player as you pick. So you can see, but if you sort by salary, the highest priced person here is Adesanya, which is kind of interesting when you really think about it, because this works funny sometimes. You would think if the highest priced person was Adesanya, that Romero would be the lowest priced person overall. Let me sort it by salary. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I didn't have it by salary. Adesanya is the second highest price. Oh, Romero is the second lowest price. I think that's crazy. Even if Adesanya wins, when you have to deal with a total salary on DraftKings, you sometimes have to, you can't pick all winners. So to me, if you,
you
could possibly stack the fight and pick both, but if you didn't want to pick Adesanya and you thought 5 other people were better picks overall for your points, throwing in Romero as the second cheapest guy on the whole card is a great idea. Because, I mean, unless you think he's going to get knocked out in the first round or the second round, then, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But doing something in this fashion, so you can look at the fights, and there's other places you can look. You can look all over the internet to get stuff, but you can see odds right here. Vegas odds show up on UFC's main site for early prelims. You can switch to prelims, main card. So look at Adesanya's minus 300 and Romero's plus 280. But if we zoom in and we look at these two guys, all right, 18-0, obviously Adesanya's a beast. But everybody knows Romero's a beast. Like when has Romero just been flat outright just defeated like nothing? I mean, he went the full distance with Whitaker 5 rounds twice. I mean, the dude is a monster. Look at the average fight time. They're both the same. They both average just about a full 3-round fight as average fight time, 13:42 and 13:46. I mean, their KO percentages are almost damn near even, 85%, 78. So decision percentages is 22-15. Neither one of them's ever finished a fight by submission. Geez, I mean, they're on when you look at this. So significant strikes. Adesanya lands more per minute on average, and absorbs a little less. So you'd think over the course of a fight, if this was to hold true, Adesanya would outpoint him slowly across every round, but you might get some. If this were to hold up, all right, his defense is a little better also. But if these numbers right here were to hold up just on striking, you don't take in wrestling into account, takedowns or anything, this would be a very close fight with Adesanya slightly winning every round based on numbers from previous performances. But then let's go down here and see what happens. Grappling, right? Takedown average. Romero's got almost 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, which is basically per 3-round fight. This fight is longer than 15 minutes, so maybe you could say he'd get 3 in a 5-round fight on average. His accuracy is 35%. Takedown defense, both of them are great, but Israel's better a little bit at takedown defense. And Israel's got a little bit of submission going on. Romero doesn't have any. On paper, this fight is a very, very close fight. So it makes me...
That's crazy, though, that they have it on paper there that Adesanya's... I guess that's just the stats in regards to the fights he's had, because grappling in every aspect, Yoel's better.
Well, it does pretty much say that. It's just, this is because grappling also takes into account takedown defense, stuff like that. Yeah. But overall, his takedown defense is better. Right here at 85-78.
Right.
But Adesanya doesn't really go for takedowns like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really his thing. So, I mean, he's literally got a takedown average of 0. I think the grappling labeling here is a little bit misleading because
a lot misleading.
It's not. This is not really all grappling, so it's kind of interesting that they chose to do it like that.
This is pretty much just the numbers, the statistics in regards to his fights that he's had in the UFC.
Yeah,
but
statistically,
overall, Yoel's is better in every single aspect. He's a bronze. He was bronze. Yeah, bronze in the Olympics.
Wasn't he? I thought he was a silver medalist. Isn't he silver?
It was bronze.
Oh.
But he's a beast, bro. He's a freaking beast.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a beast. He's also, I don't know exactly how old he really is, but I think he's listed as like 42 years old or something. But so we could talk about this fight. We saw everything here. I guess we'll come back to it for a pick at the end from everybody. I just wanted to
what's he at right now? What's the if you choose him? What is he at? Like
on DraftKings? I mean, I was just kind of using that for example. He's $7,000 on DraftKings, way under.
That's insane.
Under the price, and Adesanya is $9,200.
It says Joel Romero is 42 years old, according to
Wikipedia.
According to Wikipedia and Talk Sports.
All right, so just to give you guys a little quick precursor on DraftKings, if you're not familiar with it, though, you got to make like 6 fighters, like I was saying. So you can look at a lot of different resources to figure out who you'd like to pick. You can't pick 6 winners because you won't have the money for that, or who's projected to be a winner. You can't just take the top 6 guys, you'd run out of money. So you're going to have to pick somebody that's an underdog that you think might win or will score well in order to, fill out the card. So Otelu loves Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She's 7,300. She's only a little bit more than Yoel, right?
That's insane to me too.
And right here in this category right here, this is their fantasy points per fight. So you can look at their salaries versus their fantasy points per fight. So you got this guy Vieira, who's Rodolfo Vieira. He's 6-0, has 106 points on average fantasy points per fight. Never lost. He's the highest priced guy on the card. You can go back here and find him. I believe he's actually on the. He might be on the early prelims. No, he's on the regular prelims, I think. Right here. And look at his Vegas odds, minus 650. There's a reason for that. Because he's fighting Saperbeg Safarov. I don't know too much about Safarov, but let's check it out. Because this guy, Safarov, is now automatically the cheapest guy on the card because Vieira is the highest priced guy on the card. He's 9-2, fighting out of Russia. That means GI automatically likes him. He's they're both 6'1", but my goodness, what is going on here? 185, 205 is their weight. So all right, so he's normally a light heavyweight, and I guess Rodolfo is not. But where are they fighting at? I didn't look at that. I didn't see what weight class they're actually fighting in for this fight. He's clearly the bigger dude. He's got a longer reach, longer leg reach.
This is a middleweight fight.
So it's a middleweight fight. So then they're fighting at 185, which means Safarov is dropping this weight to get down.
Yeah.
So he's dropping more weight. He's got a knockout percentage of 67%. So this is clearly submission artist versus knockout artist. That's what we're looking at here. Although he's got 22% subs, 11% decision. Average fight time is shorter for Safarov. Significant strikes landed per minute. All right, so clearly what we see here is Rodolfo Vieira, with his 1.91, is not really much of a striker. He's definitely a grappler, definitely a submission artist. That's his game, clearly. Doesn't mean he can't throw strikes, but absorbed per minute. He's got pretty good defense, and their defense is almost the same on as far as striking goes. And there's your grappling. But look, Safarov got a 2.8 per three round takedowns average. But he's got five takedowns almost per 15 minutes for Vieira. So you could definitely expect that this fight's going to be on the ground a lot between these two guys.
Yeah, this is
their accuracy is over 40%. Although nobody apparently has ever taken down Safarov, but we don't know who he's fought. Like every person that he's fought, you know. But he's 9-2, which isn't bad. I wouldn't write this guy off as a possible, just because of the fact that there's going to be probably a lot of takedowns and takedowns score well on DraftKings. I definitely would not write this guy off as far as a low price guy to throw in to your DraftKings lineup to possibly get you some points, even if he loses. So if we go back to DraftKings, right, we can look at, let's just say you think Vieira is going to win and he's good. You can take him at 93, and you can then say, this guy's just so cheap. I know he's not going to win. If you feel he's not going to win, you can still throw him in if you think it might go to the third round and there's 6 or 7 takedowns. You get 5 points per takedown on each guy. That even if he loses, it's worth it to pay $6,900 for him. That's a possibility of a way to play the card, you know? So just showing you guys like some general strategies. Same thing. If you think Adesanya, who is way more than what your average remaining per player at the beginning is 8,333, you could take Adesanya at 9,200. That lowers you down to 8,160. But if you think Yoel's going to be around a long time and it's a 5-round fight, you throw him in there and you actually have more remaining now than you did when you started by picking both these guys. So those are just options that you have in general when it comes to ways to do DraftKings. Or you could just stick to one fight the whole way. You can be like, all right, I really like, O'Malley. I like Vieira. And then you could say I like Lee and Whaley. And look what you got left, 7,050, and you got 2 spots to fill. Well, what can you do? You could take Romero if you think he's going to win, because you don't have Adesanya in here, right? All these fights are on separate sides. And maybe you think you got 7,100. So you're left now with Quiñones against O'Malley. I already have O'Malley. So if you thought Quiñones could stick around, you might pick him. Or you could say, I think Safarov is going to pull off the upset on this undefeated guy. And I just made a whole lineup with $200 left in my pocket. That's kind of, it's kind of how it works. You just got to bounce around all over the place. So with that being said, I'm going to kick back over here to this fight that we're talking about, right? So we're at Vieira versus Safarov. It's the first, I believe that's the first fight on the card overall, isn't it? Yeah.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
Guido?
Whitmire. I'm sorry. It's not. I went over into here. This was the first fight. We were on it already. Bat Jarrell versus Kennedy. So
Down the
for
battery.
me,
Guido Canetti.
I'd go with Kennedy, honestly, just based off of. I don't think there's anything. It's not impossible at all that Bat Jarrell wins, but I looked up a little bit of his record earlier, and it's not really against anybody that is of Kennedy's caliber. Not that Kennedy is amazing, but he's not a bad fighter by any means of the stretch. You know, it's not that he's I definitely think he's faced the tougher opponents so far. So that
He's
to
more
me just makes
proven.
me lean that way. So
He's more of a proven fighter at the higher level.
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I lean that way. What do you think, Potelu?
Yeah, it's a hard one, but if I am going to choose anything, I'd go with Guido because of that. I mean, he's been fighting at a higher level. We're gonna see how good what's his name again? Badgarel.
Yeah,
We'll see how good he is, but I'm going with Canetti.
GI.
I'm gonna go with Bagarel. I think he's gonna be able to pull it off. Decision win, nothing spectacular, but he's gonna take him all 3 rounds and just win the fight.
All right. So let's close that one out, and we'll go up to man. They killing me on names today. Chickadees versus Emmers. At least Emmers is easy, right? So Emmers is minus 175 favorite. Chickadees plus
Chikadze.
145. All right. So
Gigak Chikadzes.
Chickadees
Chikadze.
and Emmers. Chikadze? All right,
Chikadze.
Chikadze. Uh, he's from Georgia, which is basically Russia, right? So we know GI's picking him. I've actually seen Emmers fight a few times. I have not seen Chikadze fight. Has any of you actually seen him fight?
Nope.
I think he was supposed to fight. I think he was supposed to fight a while back ago though, on one of the fight nights, but he didn't. It was canceled or something like that.
Looking at this is all very even, but this is all because they don't have UFC experience. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really like I kind of don't like that about the UFC because they show you the records, but they'll only give you the statistics in general, like UFC statistics, not their entire professional career statistics. So
Right.
you don't really
Yep.
get all too much. So there's not a lot to go on
Unless
here.
you've been
So let's
unless
slide
you've been
back.
following them in other organizations and stuff.
Let's slide back over here for a minute. What do you think, Potelu? You think Chickadees or Emmers? What do you know anything about either of them, or
I
you
can't.
just
I same thing as the last one. I'm gonna have to roll with Emmers because I've seen him compete at a higher level. I've never followed Chikadze, even other fight organizations or anything like that. So I can't. UFC's so big now; it's over 500 fighters. I can't keep track of them like I used to. So I'm
yeah?
gonna have to go with the more proven high level fighter.
GI?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the records and I see that Chikadze. I was right about Chikadze. He was supposed to fight on February 29th against Mike Davis, and that was canceled. But before that, Fight Night 160, he won a decision fight against Brandon Davis, who was 10-8 at the time. Um, I don't know. I saw Emmers, and he looked really confident in the weigh-ins. So I'm gonna roll with Emmers because I think he's gonna be able to pull it off, even though
I'm
his record is he's got 2 more losses over him, but he's got 17 fights overall, so he's got a little bit more experience. Hopefully that'll help him.
I'm rolling Emmers too. So I guess we're unanimous on that one. And then let's just kick it over to the last fight on the early prelims, which is Emily Whitmire and Polyana Viana. I think this is kind of crazy that this fight is actually on the early prelims because Polyana's pretty good, man. Like she's got a lot of potential, And Whitmire is a well-known name too in women's MMA. They got Whitmire listed at -120, which would make her the favorite, but for some reason there's a scratch on the odds for Polyana. So I'm guessing they're both, it's just about even odds-wise, honestly, because -120 is not a big favorite at all. And maybe Polyana, I've seen ones where they're like -110, -105, you know? I don't know what the actual odds are for that. Maybe GI, you could look that up. Like, look up Vegas odds for Viana versus Whitmire. See if you could find that. Because UFC is missing a stat there. But let's slide into it real quick. And we'll see Whitmire is 4-2, which isn't really the best of records here. Viana's 10-3. And they're both 5'5". Viana's got a longer reach. And the legs are just about even. But Whitmire has never won by knockout at all. Viana's got 40% knockouts, 60% subs, and never gone to decision, which is why I think it's kind of like interesting that Whitmire, almost all her fights have gone to decision. She's never knocked anybody out. So you got her versus Polyana, who's never even went to decision.
Looks like the fight odds is 205 Whitmire, 204 Viana.
Plus 204 Viana or minus?
No, it's plus 204 Viana.
Wow, that's a big switch up from the UFC's odds that are up here. So I guess a lot of bets have come in. So when it comes to these bets, that's changing things. But the original Vegas odds are what really counts. The money sways things after that. And maybe that's what the UFC has up here. But look at this. Look at the significant strikes. They're pretty damn even landed per minute. Polyana's more accurate, landing 41% of her strikes on average to 32. That means that Whitmire throws more to land almost the same amount. So Polyana's defense is a little worse. She takes about half a punch more per minute, and their defense is almost equal. Grappling takedown average is similar. Takedown accuracy, Whitmore's higher for sure on the accuracy part of it. Takedown defense, she's better. And submission average, 0.82 to 1. I mean, this doesn't tell you all that much looking here.
Okay, so I'm
I
looking
can
at
tell
it.
You this much.
The Vegas one is negative 125 for Polyana and negative 105 for Whitmire.
That makes more sense. So if you look at it that way and you back out of here, so minus 125 would be here and minus 105, which means if you bet on either one of them, you have to bet more than $100 to win 100, which means Vegas can't make up their mind really. They got a slight favorite, going on. So let's talk about that for a minute, fellas. What do you guys think? I mean, I've seen both of these girls fight, and we got Whitmire and Polyana. Viana, what do you think, Potelou?
I have Viana taking it. I've seen them both fight. To me, she's a slightly better fighter overall. She has better power. I just see her taking it.
GI?
This is pretty. It's pretty even because I'm looking at their last. Actually, Whitmire, her last fight, she was submitted by Amanda Ribas, and Polyana was submitted her last fight by Veronica Macedo. So it's pretty tough. I'm gonna go with Whitmire, and I'm gonna say she's probably gonna get a submission on this one.
Okay. And
I say the second.
Want a quick shout out, Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo said just subscribe.
Hey, Yo-Yo.
Earlier, just because we weren't paying attention earlier, Storm said hi. What's up, Storm?
What's up?
He does look like a giant, right? He looks like one of those bobbleheads.
Carl said hello. What's up, Carl? Mark's been in here chatting it up. What's up, Mark? What's up, Azriel?
Who looks like a giant?
Lee. He looks like those. He looks like Big Show, the way Big Show would look at McDonald's, one of those kids tables.
So for me, I'm gonna answer that, and I'm gonna go with Viana. I just think that out of what I've seen out of both of them, it's anybody's fight. I do agree with that. Like I would not be surprised to see Whitmire win, but I'm going Viana. And these are the kind of fights, guys, that when you can't decide and you see such a split, even when Vegas can't quite decide, those are the fights you got to be a little careful with on DraftKings because that could make or break your card if you're playing DraftKings. So, you might want to stay away from that fight when you see a bunch of people can't make a decision. Because everybody knows that plays the game. One bad pick at the wrong price, and it's a wrap for you. You can take a low price person losing as long as they get decent points. You could deal with it. But somebody that costs a lot of money when they get finished in the first round, you're having a bad night.
Lipos knows.
Shut up, B.I. Shut up.
I'm going to switch over to the prelims real quick, and we'll go over to the first prelim real fast. This is another one. G.I., you might want to look this one up. It's Gerald Meerschaert versus Deron Winn. They got Meerschaert at plus 120. Or Meerschaert.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
Yeah, and
this is a hard one.
Deron Winn's also missing his Vegas odds in the bottom here.
So Deron Winn is good, man. He's solid, man. He's short, but he's solid, man.
Yeah, Winn?
Yeah,
damn, this is a hard one.
This is gonna be an interesting fight. So
you know what? Deron, I think he's gonna take this one, man. He's gone through less damage. He's stronger. He has better grappling.
I can't say I disagree with that. I mean, the experience definitely goes to Meerschaert, but
yeah. Gerald has the experience, but Darren's legit, man. He's legit.
Gerald is at plus 120, and Deron is negative 150.
Okay, so Deron is the favorite. That's so weird that it's not really showing up there by too much. But I mean, obviously the height advantage, reach advantage, everything is huge. I mean, it's 7.5-inch reach for Gerald. He's got, what is that, 7 inches in height and 3 inches longer in the legs. But these are two very different fighters, man. Like Gerald is a big submission guy. As you can see here, 70% of his wins have come by submission. 20% by knockout, 10% by decision. Deron Winn, 67% KOs, 33% submission. And if you break that down over 6-0, I believe that makes him 4 wins by knockout and 2 wins by decision out of his 6 fights. He's a real short, stout, powerful dude. Significant strikes. Obviously, Winn doesn't have any because of the UFC. I don't know why. This is not always right. So I'm pretty sure Winn's fought in the UFC before, if I'm not mistaken.
He has.
He has.
Last fight he had, he lost against Darren Stewart, decision loss, and before that he fought Fight Night 154 against Eric Spicely. He beat him by decision, 3rd round.
Yeah, so I don't. They're just not giving you all the info here, so we can't even use this. We can only go off of what we know as far as just watching them fight in this particular one. So for me, I got to say, I'm kind of feeling like in this particular fight, if the fight goes to the ground, if there's a way for Gerald to get Deron Winn to the ground and keep him there, he can win, I think, relatively easily. But he's got to get him down and keep him there. That's the only way. But hear me out. I don't think he can do it. I think the guy is too short, too stout, low enough center of gravity. He's not going to be able to take him down very easily. And if he does, he's not going to be able to hold him there. So I'm going to go with Winn. But I do think that there's a route that Gerald could win with. You know what I mean? He's got a route.
Darren's too good. He's too good of a grappler. Darren's too good of a wrestler. I don't see it happening, man. I can't see Gerald win. Man, I can't see him win this one. He's a good fighter and all that, but I can't. I've seen he gets rocked easily. Darren is good. He has power in both hands. He'll rock him, take him down, ground and pound him. I can't see Gerald winning in any way, really. He's very good. It should be a good fight, solid, but I don't see him winning.
G.I., what do you say?
I see Gerald with more passion in this one because they were really on each other at the weigh-ins. I think he can pull it off. He can get a decision win on win for sure. Um, the reason why I say that is because I do remember the Darren Stewart fight, and Win tired out towards the end, and if Gerald can get him there, he can win it. So I'm gonna go with Gerald.
All right, and we got Mark, who says going with Gerald. Heard it here first. So
You go, Mark.
Mark is agreeing with GI. All
Kick him
right.
out. Kick him out now.
Here comes a very interesting one that we kind of spoke about a little bit before. We'll slide this back in. Next fight on the card is Rodolfo Vieira versus Saperbeg Safarov. So we were talking about this before. Just looking at these, I mean, this is the largest margin on the card. Vieira's minus 650 with Safarov at plus 450. So we're not quite at boxing odds yet, but we're getting there. Let's pop in here real fast. We kind of went over this. Vieira's undefeated, obviously. Safarov has a good record at 9-2, and Safarov has the longer reach, longer legs. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage, about a 2-inch leg advantage. Safarov is clearly the striker, although he's not bad at all at grappling. He's a good wrestler too, but he throws way more strikes because just by looking at this, you can see the significant strikes landed per minute is 2 to almost 4.5. And just looking at their KO percentages, 17% to 67. But their average fight time, both of them, you're looking at, this is almost 2 complete rounds. They both go into the second round, late in the second round, basically average fight time.
Yeah.
Their accuracy is almost dead even. The strikes absorbed per minute, Safarov takes like 1 more strike on average than Vieira per minute. But Vieira throws a lot less strikes. He's not a big striker in general. Their defense is almost even as far as making people miss. Grappling, obvious advantage to Vieira, but these are monster numbers. Okay,
Yeah.
This guy's averaging almost 5 takedowns in a 3-round fight in his career. That's pretty monstrous to get 5 takedowns in 3 rounds, and that's an average over 6 fights. And Safarov has more fights. He's got 11, over 5 fights. Sorry, Safarov has 11 fights, but this is a good number for any good wrestler. You know what I'm saying? To say in 3 rounds they get almost a takedown a round. That's pretty decent.
Seems more complete, right?
Yeah, it shows a bit more. Kind of he mixes it up clearly. He throws more shots. Yeah. He does grappling. He tries to go for takedowns. Their takedown accuracy is almost the same. Although Safarov has never been taken down. This is what I find interesting. You got a guy never been taken down versus a guy that gets 5 takedowns per 3 rounds every fight on average. So this is going to be, I think this is one of the coolest matchups actually on the whole card. And then
Vieira has no takedown defense because I guess nobody bothers.
Nobody tried to take him down. Probably that's really what it is. But I bet you Safarov will try. Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Safarov tries, it's kind of cool. So I find this to be a very, very interesting fight. It's tough to, I think that the odds are actually a little bit lopsided here, more so than they should be, because Vieira's got so much hype and he's still undefeated. It doesn't mean he's not going to win. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, I think that he's getting a slightly larger number than
I see it changed a little bit. It's minus 690 for him and plus 490 for Safarov.
So the money's gone even higher on Vieira in Vegas.
Yeah.
So
and on Safarov.
So what do you guys think? Vieira or Safarov?
I'm going with Safarov. I see Safarov stopping most of the takedowns. Vieira getting a little tired, and him picking them off with shots. 3rd round.
So Safarov winning in the third round.
Third
knocking
round.
him
I
out?
see. What, a decision or knockout?
No, finishing him. Yep, either knockout or ground and pound.
Okay.
TKO.
What do you say, GI?
I say Vieira. I think he's gonna get a submission late in the third, in the middle of the third, because he's gonna try.
You're,
Saffron is gonna try to use his defense, but with Vieira, the way that he just takes people down is no joke, and he's gonna tire him out. And by the third, he's not gonna be able. 100% is gonna go down to 98% by the end of the night.
Gia, you're gonna get disowned by your Russians, bro.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, we got a running joke on DraftKings. GI picks all the Russians all the time.
Yeah.
Typically. For me, I think that this fight is a lot closer than the odds are, honestly. But I do think Vieira is the real deal, and I think that this is the fight, honestly, that's gonna really put him on the map. If he wins this fight, he's gonna be kind of considered very, very legit. The hype is real. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is his defining part for the fight, and I think he's gonna get there. So I'm gonna go Vieira, and I think he's gonna win. Probably, I think it's gonna be a great fight, back and forth. I'll probably go Vieira third round submission, maybe. I think he might catch him in a submission of some kind in the third round.
We got Mark Ryan.
But I would not be surprised if Potelu is correct and Safarov pulls off a win, because he is the more well-rounded fighter on paper, statistically.
And that's going to give you a lot of points.
He's the bigger fighter. He's coming down in weight.
Yeah, and this fight, but that could play against him. He might be a little drained and not have as much stamina coming down in weight. So that is one thing too. The fact that he's bigger and coming down is, if he has the stamina, then that could play against Vieira, because he is the bigger man, and it's going to be a little harder to get him down and hold him down because of the extra weight. He may actually be able to match him in strength to some extent, but I just see Vieira too good to me. Like, from everything I've seen from that guy, I really feel like even without seeing him strike all that much, what I have seen, it's not like he's a terrible striker, and what I think he can do in general is just he's so polished. His takedowns, his wrestling, submission game. I feel like he should pull it off.
Mark Riding says he's going for Vieira rounds.
Yeah, see him right here. He says he's got Vieira in 2 rounds. Mark says so. Mark is agreeing with
that's
most
possible
of us.
too.
Most of us.
Mark, I don't think I like Mark.
Mark's going against Potelu all the time. All right, so we're going there. Next fight is an interesting fight. We'll slide over to that real fast. We got Mark Madsen versus Austin Hubbard. Madsen's minus 210, Hubbard's plus 175. We dig a little deeper in here. You can see Madsen is 9-0 against Hubbard, 10-3. Hubbard's 2 inches taller. The reach is almost identical. Madsen's got 1 inch. 1 inch reach on the arms, and Hubbard counters that with 1 inch extra reach on the legs. You're looking at wins by knockout, almost identical. Huh?
What did you say the odds were?
The odds were Madsen minus 210, Hubbard plus 175.
Okay, that's gone up. Madsen minus 235, and Hubbard plus 195.
Okay, so more money's been coming in on Madsen, but slightly.
Yeah, slightly.
And of course, this is messed up again. Clearly,
No stats.
Really. How do they give you this?
But they don't fight. They don't
fight at all. But I don't know. I think this is kind of an interesting fight. It's something that, to me, I feel like Madsen is the more well-rounded fighter overall in this matchup. So I'm going to pick Madsen, and I'm going to say that I'm going to go with Madsen probably by decision. I think it's just going to go the distance, and it'll be a pretty close fight, but I'm going to give it to Madsen.
I have it the same way going to decision. Hubbard. I think Hubbard's going to give him his first loss. This is a close fight. No one's
I have
really. This is not lopsided or anything like that.
I actually think it's lopsided. I think Madsen is gonna knock him out in the second round.
God,
what?
If not the first.
What?
If not the first, yeah.
Knock him out.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hubbard's no joke, man.
No respect for Hubbard.
He's not, but yeah, Madsen's gonna knock him out.
but the Mark said you need to stop crying, bro.
Hey! Block him right now. Who's the moderator here?
And he also says he's picking Madsen.
Madsen. Yep.
So isn't he going against you again? Did you say Hubbard?
He's going against me again. That's why he spelled the name wrong. What's wrong with you, Mark?
I think he likes you.
He said I'm going against Potelu again.
He said he's playing Madden. That's what he said.
All right, here's one. This one I really like. This fight. It's been a long time. I am highly intrigued to see the return of Sean O'Malley against Jose Quinones. O'Malley is minus 360. Quinones is plus 280. Let's take a look here. Hopefully we have correct stats. We should have some here because both these guys have been UFC fighters.
These odds got a little closer. It's minus 375 for O'Malley and plus 300 for
no, that's further off. O'Malley became a bigger favorite. He went up because he was minus 360.
Yeah.
So now he's minus 375.
Oh yeah, it is
a little bigger.
You're right.
So he's getting more money. That doesn't surprise me,
bro.
So we got 10-0 for O'Malley, 8-3 for Quinones, and O'Malley is taller, but he's taller than almost everybody in that division. He's got a reach advantage of 3 inches, and only a half-inch leg reach advantage. O'Malley's clearly got more knockouts. Submissions almost the same. Decision wins heavily in favor of Quinones, and that's because he doesn't knock people out the way O'Malley does.
Yeah, he's more of a brawler.
But their average fight time, they're saying average fight time for O'Malley is 15 minutes. That doesn't make any sense because O'Malley knocks a lot of people out. So I don't know how he could average 15. Has O'Malley been in 5-round fights?
Yes, he did. He had one against Andre Sukamtov.
But that's only one.
Yeah.
At all his fights. I think this number has to be off. It doesn't make any sense. Because he's got 30% of his, 30. So he's got 10 fights. That means 3 of them went to decision. The rest of them ended before that. So I don't know how he could have a 15-minute average fight time. The UFC needs to fix their website. That's terrible, terrible math. It doesn't really make any sense.
It looks like Moose from Step Up now.
But I mean, this part looks legit here. O'Malley throws tons of shots, man. 6.8 landed per minute on average to 3.5. So I mean, you're looking at almost double the strikes landed per minute go in O'Malley's favor. He's more accurate. He also absorbs more per minute. That's for sure. And defense is almost the same. Grappling, Quinones slight advantage on takedowns, averaging. Takedown accuracy is pretty close to identical. Slight advantage for O'Malley. Takedown defense, slight advantage O'Malley. Submission average. So O'Malley's got a little bit of submissions going on. That's about it. This fight to me, honestly, we'll switch back out from that and we'll slide over here. This fight to me is a no-brainer. O'Malley all day, every day. I got O'Malley by knockout round 2. What do you say, Potelu?
O'Malley all day. Too much. He's way more talented, bigger. I actually see him coming back very hungry, especially after all that bullshit he's had to go through and stuff with freaking USADA and all that bullshit. I see him knocking him out the first round.
GI?
I actually, I'm looking at these numbers now. I don't think O'Malley is going to be able to knock this guy out. Last time Quinones lost a fight was in 2014. So he's been on a 6 6-fight win streak. He was supposed to face O'Malley in 2018 at UFC 229, and that was canceled. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna go to decision. I'm gonna go for O'Malley, but it's gonna be a decision win. I don't think he's gonna be able to take him out.
All right, and Mark weighing in again. O'Malley, second round.
Mark likes second rounds.
And Mark's agreeing with Potelu for once.
Yeah, there you go.
No, he agreed with you more, Lee. You said second round, I said first, bro.
That's true, but he's still, at least y'all are on the same page as far as who's winning.
God damn you, Mark.
So everybody seems to agree O'Malley all day. So we're on to the main card, and this main card is like ridiculously stacked. Every fight on this card is awesome. I mean, even the prelims are awesome. There's good fights in the prelims, but this main card is gonna be ridiculous. If what's on paper holds up to be what actually happens, I think we're looking at, I mean, it's early in the year still, but best card of the year, easy.
Like, I mean, you see the canceled one?
What?
If that canceled match would have been there, it would have been even. It was Derek Brunson.
That was the Brunson fight, was it?
Yeah, versus Shabazian.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where you'd put that on this card.
Jesus.
Like, it's crazy, this card.
Yeah, Shabazian.
Yeah,
that would have been the opener before Oliveira versus Griffin.
Oh, before Israel versus Yoel?
No, it would have been before Oliveira and Griffin, so it would have been the opener.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
That's insane. That's a
so let's check this out real quick. We're gonna slide over into here. So we got Alex Cowboy Oliveira versus Max Griffin. Oliveira is favored -145 to Griffin at +115. I don't know if you got different odds by now, GI.
It hasn't changed much. -140 +110.
Yeah, and I would actually expect that. And you see what happened there is that Griffin actually gained a little, because this fight, I think, is a close fight.
Yeah, very close.
Very close. So there's actually a bit more money that's coming on Griffin in Vegas to change those odds slightly. Not a lot, but a little bit. So
this is gonna be a barn burner, bro.
Yeah, people are betting on him. So let's take a look at this.
And they're saying this is important fight for Oliveira. So
yeah, I mean, so we got a record 19-7-1 for Oliveira and 15-6 for Griffin. They're similar in record. Both 5'11", basically the same reach, 76 to 76.5. And Cowboys got 2 inches leg reach advantage. Wins by KO, you got Cowboys 63%, Griffin 47%. Submissions 21%, 13%. And just a lot more decisions for Griffin, decision wins. His fight time is longer, which makes sense if that's accurate now. He's got more decisions. And knockdown averages per 15 minutes, almost the same, not much of a difference there. Significant strikes, about 1 more per minute landed for Griffin. They're almost even in percentage. And absorbed per minute, Griffin takes a little more. So when you look at that, he lands a little more and takes a little more, and you know the way Cowboy Oliveira fights is, I think you're stacking up for a serious barn burner right here. There's going to be a lot of give and take, and it's going to be about who could take it. I do think Cowboy has the grappling advantage. I agree with that. On the ground, takedowns, he's a little bit better at that kind of stuff than Griffin, although Griffin is not a slouch at it. But I think Cowboys just, over time, proven a pretty damn good ground game. You got takedown accuracies, actually a little higher for Griffin. Takedown defense, almost the same, but slightly higher for Griffin. And submission average, almost the same. So, I mean, this is a really great fight to open the main card with. I think you're definitely going to get a barn burner. You might see a takedown or two. What do you guys think? Potelu, what are you going to roll with on this fight?
This one's going to be crazy. I just see a war, man. A freaking war.
Come on, man. Mark's waiting for you so he can disagree.
What happened? I've been going back and forth with this one though. I'm not, for whatever reason. I feel like Griffin's gonna take him out, like towards like the end of the second or third or beginning of the third round. I just feel like Cowboys. I don't
Don't
know.
say
I
it.
feel like
Don't
his
say
shit is
that.
not the same.
Don't say that.
I feel like his shit is not the same. So, but it's gonna be a barn burner up until he gets knocked out. That's how I feel.
Until Cowboy gets knocked out.
Yep.
All right, so you got Griffin knocking Cowboy out when?
Either towards the end of the second round or towards the beginning of the third.
Okay. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, looking at the fights here, Max Griffin is more of a decision winner. He's won most of them. I think all of them actually by decision. He's lost a couple of by decision as well. The last time he ever knocked anyone out was against Eric Montano in Fight Night '98. That's in 2016. Um, and his first fight was actually against Kobe Covington, and we can all guess how that went.
Yo, what weight class
I'm
is this
actually
in?
170.
170?
170.
170? Yeah. Yep.
welterweight. I'm actually gonna go with Oliveira on this. It's a much needed fight for him. He wasn't able to fight last time because something happened to his toe when he was supposed to fight me. Um, but yeah, Oliveira can go full 3 rounds. He's done it before. He can do it again, and he can knock somebody out too, and submit them as well. So I'll go with Oliveira. I'm gonna say, let me see. I don't think he'll be able to knock him out like Kobe did, but I'll go with decision, Oliveira.
Decision Oliveira. All right. For me, I'm picking Oliveira too, and I'm gonna say third round submission.
Third round submission. Okay, yeah, it's
That's
doable.
that's what I see
Good,
coming.
rear naked choke.
Mark didn't pick, so I can't tell you he disagreed with you, Poto. He didn't make a pick.
It's another good one coming
Yeah,
up.
it's definitely good. We're gonna slide up to the next fight on the main card. This is another one, man. I'm really excited for this fight too. We got Neil
Yeah.
Magny versus Li Jinglang. I can't say his name very well, but Magny's plus
Jingling.
145. Magny's
The
plus
leech.
145. Liang's minus 175. So Liang's favorite in this fight. Magny's been around the block. But they both have to some extent, but I mean, I think Magny has definitely had the tougher opposition throughout the course of his career as a whole. Magny's been in that spotlight, been near the top of the ranks for a long time. Just fighting top 10 fighters for quite a while. It's interesting though, because when you look at their records, they're not all that dissimilar. But again, Magny's level of competition for most of his career has been at a higher level than Jing Liang.
Yeah.
So that's something to take into consideration. Magny's also taller, 3 inches taller. He's got a 9.5-inch reach advantage, but Magny almost always has a huge reach advantage in his weight class. He's got a 4.5-inch leg reach advantage. And when you look at their statistics, just statistically, Liang's got some more wins by knockout overall, like averaging wins by knockout, also by submission and less on decision. Magny's been more of a decision fighter, although he has had some good knockouts in his career. And then you look at the significant strikes, it's kind of crazy because look at those numbers: almost 4 strikes per minute landed to 5 strikes per minute landed in favor of Liang. You got significant strike accuracy, slightly more accurate is Magny, but close. The amount absorbed per minute, you got a little over 1 more per minute absorbed by Liang, and Liang's defense is slightly better, but very close. And in the grappling and takedown averages, you got advantage for Magny. He's more accurate with them, gets more per fight on average, and their defense is almost even. This is a very, very interesting fight to me. And I honestly think we're going to be in for a hell of a barn burner right after the first barn burner. That's kind of how I see it. You could see a few takedown mixed in here, for sure, but it's definitely going to be a barn burner if you ask me. So, what do you think, Potalu? What do you got, Magni or Jing Liang? How do you see it going?
This is a real good one. This is a real good one. But I have Magni winning decision just off of experience. He's fought higher caliber fighters. I see him edging it decision.
GI?
Um, I see. I see. This is tough, man, because I can see Neil taking this fight, but I can also see Lee knocking Neil out because Neil's he's got that kind of chin.
Yeah, it's definitely happened before.
Times. And with that amount of punching that Lee does, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Leech. I'm probably gonna say late round 2 knockout. Yeah.
I think that this is one of those fights that could go either way for sure. I'm not surprised whoever wins. But that's the UFC. Anything could happen on any given day. Anybody could win. So you can't really just constantly say that. But I wouldn't be surprised either way. But for me, I feel like in this fight, I just think that Magny's getting a little up there as far as wear and tear. Being in with those guys. So he does have the experience, but I think that Jing Liang is enough of a beast and just constant pressure that I think he's gonna end up getting him out of there. I'm gonna say Jing Liang late second, early third round knockout on Magny.
And to be honest, even DraftKings wise, even if Lee was not to win and it goes to decision, I think he'll give everybody enough points that it wouldn't be a sour loss for anyone.
No, yeah, but you got to worry about his chin. You know what I mean? So when it comes to DraftKings, he's always a risk because he has been one punch or one kick KO'd a couple times.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about a guy like Jin Liang who just nonstop throws power shots, you always run that risk. So picking Magny, if he lasts and he hangs in there, he'll definitely get you points. But if he goes out, you're gonna be very sad.
Very sad.
If he goes out earlier than we think, it's gonna be a pretty sad night on DraftKings for somebody that picks him. Mark eventually picked Griffin earlier. He took a while, and he says he's picking Liang now on this one. My man Bama's in the building. What's up, Bama? All right, so aside from that, we all got our picks in there. We're gonna finish off the card, and then we'll do a quick little DraftKings thing. Talk about some of our favorite picks, possibly on DraftKings, based on the prices and stuff. Let's go back into the card. We're getting to the nitty gritty here. So next fight on the list is Beneil Dariush versus Drakkar Klose. I like this fight a lot too. It's it's another really close, interesting fight.
It is.
Dariush is minus 170 and Klose is plus 140, at least on.
That has not changed.
That has not moved at all. Kind of makes sense. So Dariush 16-4-1, Drakkar Klose 10-1-1. Dariush has a 1-inch height advantage, 2-inch reach advantage, and a 1.5-inch leg reach advantage. Knockout wins favor Klose. Submission wins favor Dariush. No surprise at all. Decision wins favor Klose. Dariush is really a submission kind of specialist, but he does throw. It's not like he doesn't. As you can see here, he actually lands more significant strikes per minute. But he just generally tends to get his finishes.
Dariush's striking is legit, man.
Yeah, no, it is. He doesn't really get enough credit for it because he gets a lot of his finishes by sub, but good striking leads to those. You know what I mean?
Remember when he knocked out James Vick?
Yeah. You got significant strikes are almost identical.
James Vick,
close takes, almost a punch more per minute on average. Their defense is very close. Grappling, very close takedowns per 15 minutes, literally basically identical. Takedown accuracy, basically identical. Dariush has a little bit better takedown defense, and he's got a submission in there. So, I mean, this fight on paper is super close. It's two slightly. I can't even call them supremely different style of fighters. They just go about the way they do things a little bit differently, but they're both good at. They're both well rounded. They're both good on the feet, on the ground, in grappling, in the clinch. It's a tough call on this one as well. It's going to be crazy to have to pick on this one for me. So for me, I feel like Dariush has been a bit more proven against a bit higher opposition. Not that Close hasn't fought good fighters. He has. Dariush has just fought a few more, top level fighters, as far as I, recall anyway in remembering. I didn't actually look up their records at the moment to put them fresh in my head, but I remember seeing him in there with a few more top level fighters. Close, but Close has a lot of heart. He's a beast in there. He comes forward a lot. He's aggressive. I like his style. I'm gonna go. I think this comes down real simply to where this fight ends up, because even though they're both well versed, they got a ground game. I think if it goes to the ground, Dariush ends up with the advantage because he is so good at submissions. I think if it stays standing, it's anybody's fight, but I'd give Close probably a slight advantage standing, just slight. So for me, I gotta say, I think personally that Close is good enough on the ground that he'll be able to probably avoid the submissions. And I think the fight goes the distance, and Close wins by split decision. That's my pick. So, Portelu, what do you say?
I mean, Close is he's a beast, man. He's solid all around. To me, Dariush he's actually gonna finish him towards the second, third round. I feel he's a more polished fighter. I feel like he's gonna get it done. But Close is he's a freaking beast. He can come right out the gate and just knock him out. He fights like a freaking savage, man. But I don't know why I have Dariush winning this.
All right, GI.
Dariush has got a 4-fight streak right now. He was supposed to fight actually Close last year. That was canceled.
Yep.
It's crazy because in 2017 they both have the same amount of fights. They fought 6 times, the same amount of fights. I'm gonna go with Dariush, and I'm gonna say a split decision. Dariush.
All right, so I got split decision Close. You got split decision Dariush, and Portelu says Dariush is gonna finish him in the fight. And my man,
I don't think Dariush has got it anymore.
My man Mark weighed in, and he agrees with me. So I go this way to both of y'all. Mark ties it for me, baby.
I don't think Dariush has it in him anymore to be knock anybody out. Maybe a submission, possibly, but I don't see him. I don't see him doing that tomorrow.
All right, you know what time it is. Here we go.
Portelu's girl time.
So we're going now back to the card, co-main event.
Oh yeah, baby.
Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, more affectionately known Potelu as his baby mama, Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah, so, baby.
Weili Zhang is minus
she got some new. Yeah,
Weili
baby.
Zhang is minus 220 on UFC site to Joanna Jędrzejczyk's plus 180. Do you see different odds than that, GI?
I have Weili negative 205.
Money's coming in on JJ. JJ's pulling the odds closer Vegas-wise by money. So let's take a look at this fight on paper. Can I just tell you real quick before we do that, Potelu, I love you, bro.
What's up?
I love you, bro. But your girl is going to get so beat the fuck up tomorrow night. So bad, bro. So, like, her career's done, bro.
Never.
Over.
It's done.
Over tomorrow night. Over. She'll be in Invicta fighting after tomorrow night if she can still fight.
Hey, she looks great.
I'm gonna love it when.
So let's take a look at this real fast, okay? So Weili Zhang is 20-1, and JJ is 16-3. We know about JJ's losses. They all came against top opposition. I take nothing away from JJ. She's one of the greatest female MMA fighters of all time, no doubt.
They mostly came from one of the best fighters in the world.
So
Rose,
yep. So look, JJ's got the height advantage by 2 inches. She's got a 2.5-inch reach advantage, but she's got a 1-inch disadvantage on leg reach. Your wins by knockout, all right, twice as many knockout wins for Weili Zhang. Wins by submission, way more for Weili Zhang. Wins by decision, you got JJ. JJ got a whole lot of decision wins. Average fight time. That's not gonna happen. Now, this is legit because JJ had a whole ton of 5-round fights being champ for so long. She's got 18 minutes and 29-second average fight time versus Weili Zhang's 11 minutes and 14-second fight time. But Weili Zhang has fought mostly 3-round fights for most of her career. So that's still going kind of deep. So she's proven that she's got some stamina. She don't really get tired that easy. And neither does JJ. That's for sure. Look at this. Significant strikes landed per minute. 5.5 for Weili Zhang, 6 for JJ. This is going to be striking heaven. We're going to see strikes galore. Same percentage-wise for accuracy. The amount absorbed per minute, JJ absorbs a little bit more, about half a punch more per minute. And their defense is just about equal. JJ slightly better overall on defense for making people miss, but just about even. So you got just about the same amount thrown per minute on average. You got just about the same landed per minute on average. These two fighters on paper striking wise, as different as they are, they throw very different type of strikes, but they are very, very equal in their output, their defense, the amount they land, the amount they get hit. But let's take a little bit closer look at this section over here. Okay? Takedown averages. Okay? JJ's takedown average per 3 rounds is 0.14. She don't take nobody down ever. Okay? That's what she don't do. Weili Zhang takes down people almost 2 times per 3 rounds, which is actually not as high as it could be, but that's because she's a striking beast. If she wanted to, she could take you down 5 times because she's also a wrestling beast. She is a monster, okay?
Shut up. Now
listen, takedown accuracy. Listen, JJ got a 66% takedown accuracy. If that's correct, I'm led to believe that she's only attempted, like 3 takedowns in her whole career and got 2 of them somehow. That's about it.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, this number is completely misleading because she don't take anybody down. Weili Zhang's got a 30% takedown accuracy. Takedown defense. Weili Zhang has never been taken down in her life, and she's going up against somebody who pretty much has never taken down anyone else in their life, so JJ's not taking her down. It's not happening. All right? JJ's takedown defense has been stellar throughout her career at 80%. But you know what that means? That means every 5 times somebody tried to take her down, they've been successful once on average. And that's against people that aren't all great grapplers. So it should be a little bit higher. She should have a little bit lower percentage against Weili Zhang because she's a great grappler and she's got great takedowns. All right?
What are you talking about? Freaking, God damn, what the hell's her name?
Yeah, you talking about Claudia
fought her
Gadelha?
twice. Gadelha, yeah.
Yeah, I
Great
know,
grappler.
but Gadelha, but she's not as good at takedowns as Weili Zhang is. She's a great grappler against the cage. She can
I don't
take
know
people
about
down.
that.
She's good. But Weili Zhang is on a whole other level of beast mode. Okay?
Takedown
I don't
defense,
know about
100%.
Listen, this girl, did you look at Jessica Andrade, bro? You see the size of that woman? And look what happened to her in no time flat. No time. Bro.
Jessica Andrade was freaking picked apart by JJ for 5 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. And how fast did she get picked? How fast did she lose to Weili Zhang?
What? I mean, she never ran in there like an idiot versus JJ though. She ran in there like an idiot versus Wiley and stuff. So,
maybe she did.
it doesn't matter.
All I know is that just shows you one. That shows you one thing though. The punching power difference.
What does it show?
The punching power difference between the shots JJ throws and the shots Weili Zhang throws. They were landed on the same person's chin.
No,
and JJ landed way more of them for 5 whole rounds.
Andrade just went in there reckless. She didn't fight like that with JJ.
So what? But she got hit by JJ. You just said JJ picked her apart for 5 rounds. She landed over and over and over again and couldn't do nothing with those lands. She didn't knock her out.
Yeah, but she never dove in there like that, like she did with Wiley. She was went in there like a freaking maniac.
Oh man, you're making excuses for your baby mama now.
It's understandable.
I'm gonna tell you this, Lee.
Excuses for your baby mama. That's baby mama excuses.
Lee,
that's it.
All I'm gonna tell you is JJ's gonna pummel her. By 4th or 5th round, they're gonna stop the fight.
Pummel?
TKO.
She gonna pummel her. Pummel her?
You'll see. You're gonna see a difference in striking, bro.
Okay.
You're gonna see a difference in striking.
Oh, you will see a difference in striking.
You're going to see a difference in striking. You're absolutely right, bro. A very, very big difference in striking.
A 13-time Muay Thai champ is going to do to Wiley.
Oh, man.
You'll see.
This is funny.
You're going to be like, damn it.
Listen.
And at the end of the fight, JJ's champion of the world again.
I got the utmost respect for JJ.
Yeah, baby.
I got the utmost respect for JJ and everything she's done in the sport of MMA. She's a great, great champion. She's been a great fighter. One of the best. One of the best of all time. I love JJ. She just ain't winning this fight.
No. Hey. Don't say you love her.
I do. She's just not winning this fight. I call him how I see him. If JJ wins this fight, I'll come back on and say I was wrong.
That's what you love.
I'll come back on and say I was wrong. But
I
don't see how she wins this fight. She don't have knockout power. She don't really knock people out easily. She's got to wear you down over a course of a long time. And somebody like Weili Zhang is not gonna just be there for for 5 rounds. It's not gonna work that way.
Underestimating her. God.
Listen, JJ fought Andrade.
Put it this way.
2017.
Put it this way. JJ
and Weili beat a seasoned Andrade, champion Andrade, in 42 seconds. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, Rose destroyed JJ. Okay,
I didn't even touch on that.
No, she did. She destroyed JJ.
She knocked her out in the first fight, right?
The first fight she got clipped. Second fight, it went down to the wire, and she edged out the last round and won.
Okay. But she still lost twice.
She still lost twice.
Okay, I get it, but because you get clipped on some lucky shit. The first fight doesn't mean that she's a superior fighter. Second fight went down to the wire. She edged her out the last round.
Okay.
Valentina, Rose, JJ. And then it's Weili, which is going to go right up here.
All right, so check it out. Here's my pick. I'm going to make it right now.
Hold on. Before we move on.
What's up?
Let's take this into consideration.
Yep.
Yes.
How did the JJ fight go versus Valentina?
versus Valentina Shevchenko. JJ got
It was,
whooped.
yeah, JJ got whooped.
She
And
lost. She lost.
She got
But
whooped, bro.
how did it go? How did it end?
She got whooped. That's how it ended.
Decision win.
Decision, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys
but
see?
a clear decision win.
No. Hold on. Do you guys see Rose or Wiley being able to survive versus Valentina?
Wait a second. First of all, you're talking about 115 pounders. All right, JJ moves around a little bit. Okay.
She went up. She went up to 125, and
Yeah.
she was too small for that weight class, anyways.
Yeah.
But the point is, any one of these fighters, Wiley and Thug Rose, they can hit 125 easy. They just don't have to. They have to cut less weight.
Listen,
What I'm trying to say is,
I can tell you this much.
if they were to fight Valentina, how do you see this going?
I tell you this much. I see Weili Zhang giving Valentina a hell of a fight.
You crazy, man.
Hell of a fight.
You are crazy.
Bro.
Let's just say,
no.
I don't know.
I think she'll win? Probably not. But hell of a fight? Absolutely.
She get destroyed. She get finished.
That's a good argument. The whole point.
You're saying she get destroyed, but so Weili would get destroyed, but JJ didn't get destroyed. That's what you're telling me?
Yep. You'll see. You're gonna see when they fight tomorrow.
Listen, Weili ain't gonna do no worse than JJ did.
I'm gonna be laughing tomorrow when Wiley can't do shit and she's just getting picked apart.
Right? When JJ gonna square up with Wiley, right? And when she feels that first punch in the face, she's gonna go, "Oh shit!" It's just like
I definitely see. When she gets caught with the first clean shot, she's gonna realize, like, oh man. And then when she gets taken down and the force that she gets taken down by, and she realizes I've never even been taken down this hard before. Weili's a monster. At 115, Weili is a
go look at Weili's other fights,
bro.
man. Go look at Weili's other fights. She's never been that impressive until she fought Andrade, and Andrade fought like an idiot.
Nah, bro. You'll find out tomorrow night.
You'll see.
You'll find
out tomorrow.
Night.
You'll see.
So I'm gonna make my pick now.
She won 5 rounds with Tisha Torres, right?
Who, JJ?
Weili, the first fight.
Look at that. Yeah. And Tisha Torres is lighting her up too, bro.
Yeah, but
Tisha Torres.
Tisha's not looking to knock somebody out. Weili is waiting for you to come and knock her out. She's gonna lay you out. JJ's not gonna be able to.
What are you talking about? They want a slugfest.
JJ wants to knock her out.
Slugfest. And she was teeing up on Wiley also.
Yeah, but she's not. But when JJ tries that, she's not gonna be able to knock her out, and she's gonna feel the punch. It's gonna be back and forth, yes, but one of those punches is gonna land, and it's gonna be done.
Yeah, I gotta go with that. My pick is that this is gonna be actually a very, very good fight for a while, because I think JJ will be cautious and not run into the power right away. She's gonna try to do what she does best, and it's gonna work initially. Like she might even win round 1, because I think she'll just play it close to the vest and maybe outpoint her in the first round, throwing a lot of straight shots, quick combos, being able to move. But I think starting in round 2, you're gonna see Weili starting to get a hold of her. The strength difference is gonna become apparent. She'll probably take her down once or twice. She'll pound on her a bit, because if she takes her down and she's on top, JJ's not just getting back up like she does against other people. It's not happening. Weili Zhang is strong.
Easily.
She is so strong, bro.
Stop.
Listen.
Stop.
She's gonna get beat up. So I'm gonna say Weili Zhang wins, most likely by knockout in the 4th round, early 4th round. However, I could easily
by the 4th round, she's gonna be gassed.
I could easily see Weili Zhang winning by knockout in the 3rd round, or the 2nd round, or in 10 seconds. Okay, that might be all she needs, depending on how JJ comes out there. Yeah. JJ,
disrespect.
I respect the hell out of JJ, but I just think it's time. It's Weili Zhang's time right now.
Blasphemy.
And she, at this point in their careers, I think Weili Zhang is in the perfect position, and she has the perfect kind of style to just exploit JJ.
To get her ass knocked out. That's what she has a perfect kind of style for, right?
So what's your pick, bro? Go ahead. Tell us how JJ is going to knock her out in 45 seconds.
I'm telling you right now, by the fourth, fifth round, she's gonna finish her off of strikes. Just too much of a beating. Yo, bro. Matter of fact, Wiley's corner might just throw the towel after like the fourth round.
What do you think?
All you're gonna hear is
Oh my god!
It's a wrap, bro.
What do you
Here's
think,
the thing with that, right? Remember, there's one thing I've always told you guys, right, about fighters, right? When you watch them, there's one thing that's very important for fighters, and that's focus, right? If they're not fully focused, they tend to lose fights, especially in the women's division. And I've said it plenty of times to Botalu, aka Light Post, and I've said it to Lee before too. I say, yo, you see what's going on? Watch what happens. Boom! Oh my God! Well, I told you because just not focused. JJ hasn't been very focused lately. Let's be honest. I saw the weigh-in. She even tried to give Weili the handshake, and Weili was like, and then I guess the coach was told her, no, be nice, and Weili's like, okay, here's a handshake. When have you seen JJ do that? JJ has never done that.
JJ's always up in your face.
She always does that. It's mind games.
That kind of stuff. Like
no.
You're not gonna eat my house.
Gave the cookie. She gave the Cookie Monster cookies and everything. What are you talking about, man?
No, we'll see about that. We'll see about that because I'm gonna tell you, I have it exactly how Lee says. In the middle of the fourth, Weili's gonna catch her and beat her down, and it's gonna be a TKO. I don't think it's gonna be a knockout. I think they're gonna stop it because the beating is.
How's she gonna do that when Weili's gonna be gasping for air by the fourth round, bro? Come on.
Yeah, she'll be fine. I mean, for somebody that throws that many punches consecutively without an issue, she's not gonna get there.
Bro, let me tell you something. She's gonna have the coronavirus. You're gonna be like, what the hell just happened? Why is she gasping for air?
Weili's been training 10 rounds, okay, in training. She's been going 10 rounds straight in training. You think she's not gonna go 5, bro? If she's gotta go 5, she'll make 5.
She ain't never fought. She ain't never fought no 25 rounds like JJ does. I'm saying,
Lee, what are
baby?
Lee, what are the punches stats?
The punch stats for them, it's pretty damn close.
But those are for 3 rounds.
Yeah,
JJ's for
no. This is overall in all their fights. Okay.
Yes.
Weili averages 5.5 punches landed per minute. JJ averages 6 punches landed per minute.
Weili went 5 rounds with Tisha Torres.
Yep.
No, she didn't.
She wasn't gassed. She wasn't gassed. 3 rounds. Yeah, 4 rounds.
Yeah, no.
Wait, you go 1 round with Tisha. It's like going 6. That girl's always on.
No, because Tisha barely throws, and Tisha's still lighting her up. Tisha can't even hang with JJ.
And listen.
JJ will kill her.
Here's your stats. This is all that matters right now. They both so Zhang averages 5.5 strikes landed per minute. JJ averages 6. So there's a half a strike difference per minute in favor of JJ. But absorbed per minute, JJ takes half a shot more per minute than Zhang does. So you're looking at a dead ass even striking match on paper. You're looking at 2 people that have the same amount of output and the same amount of defense, basically, going against each other. Same output, same defensive levels on striking. But when you go to grappling and you go to ground and you go to any of that stuff,
it's not the same.
There is no contest.
It's not the same. Look at the caliber of fighters that JJ has fought.
Yeah, I get that. I give JJ that. JJ has fought better fighters, but JJ's also lost to the best ones she's fought. Honestly, the best fighters in the game have put JJ a little bit further down on the pedestal.
JJ seems to have a meter, a peak. She seems to have a peak if you look at her fights.
And let me tell you, Mark weighed in, and Mark has a very interesting pick. Mark said Wei wins in the first round. First round.
Yo, Mark. Yo, kick him out of here, bro, right now.
So I got Whaley in the fourth. Potelou says that Whaley's gonna be, I don't know, turned inside out and breathing out of her butthole by the end of the first. I don't know what he said there. Something crazy that JJ's gonna do something to her. And
TKO stoppage by fourth
GI
or fifth
also
round.
said fourth round for Whaley. So
Potelou said that JJ's gonna win, and she's gonna send him a whole calendar.
that's right. The JJ calendar, January through December with JJ picks.
Yeah, baby.
It's a calendar for you, Potelou.
All right, last fight on the card, guys. The big one. Although I guess Potelou already, felt that he already covered the big one. But let's go over to the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero for the middleweight championship of the world. Israel Adesanya's minus 300 to Yoel Romero's plus 280 on UFC's site. What do you see over there, GI? You see any different numbers? Any movement?
Let's see. Let me actually refresh this one, see if it's changed. I have Adesanya negative 260, Romero plus 200.
Adesanya negative 260. Okay, so that's a big swing in Romero's favor of money coming into Vegas. A lot of people are putting money on Romero to drop that. There's a decent swing going in over there right now.
Oh, there's a decent chance too.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at this fight. Israel Adesanya, all right, 18-0 versus Yoel Romero's 13-4. Adesanya's got the height advantage. They can claim that the weight is the same, but only on the scale at weigh-in. That's it.
Yeah.
Yoel is coming in way heavier than Israel.
Joel's weight works just as his age. Nobody knows.
The reach advantage is huge for Israel. All right, he's got a 6.5-inch reach advantage. Also has 2.5-inch advantage in leg reach.
Yeah.
Now, here's something that a lot of people don't really realize is that winning percentages by knockout are pretty close to even. Israel's got just about an 80% clip, and Yoel's at 85. And decision, the difference is the same thing. Neither one of them has a win by submission. The decision's slightly, more for Israel because he's got a slightly lower KO amount. But these two guys are both just striking monsters in different ways, but striking monsters for the most part. Yoel has a great wrestling game, but he doesn't use it all that often. He just bombs away a lot. Now let's take a look at significant strikes landed. You got about 4.5 per minute for the last style bender, and you got almost 3.5 per minute. So about just around a strike per minute difference in Israel's favor. He's slightly more accurate, Israel. His absorbed per minute is almost a punch less per minute. His defense, he's a little bit slicker on it. What else? You got grappling. Here's really your difference. Stylebender don't really go for takedowns. You got about 2 per 3-round fight for Yoel. So about one, he's got about 2 takedowns every 3-round average. So you can figure he should average like 3.5 if this fight went 5 rounds. Obviously, you can't get a half takedown, but just numerically. You got his takedown accuracy is 35%. His takedown defense is 78%. And that's really it. Israel's takedown defense is 85%. That's really what you see on the numbers. But again, a lot of strikes, a lot of hard strikes coming from Romero, more accurate, quick strikes coming from Adesanya, but he's got power too. He proved it. Speed advantage has to go to Israel. Footwork advantage has to go to Israel. But in the clinches, any kind of grappling in the clinches, any kind of, fight on the ground has to definitely go to Yoel. So what do you guys think about this fight? Do you think that Yoel is a bit too strong, a bit too big, a bit too much to chew? for the last style bender, or is the last style bender going to continue to be the truth and walk out of there 19-0 and still? What do you think, Potelu?
You know what's crazy? It's that Yoel's so dangerous. At any second in that fight, it could be lights out. And even like that, I still feel like Israel's gonna pull off damn near the same thing he did with Whitaker. By the second round's gonna finish him.
Okay.
That's just how I feel.
So you think he's going to knock him out in the second round?
Yeah, because Romero, he's a beast wrestler. He never uses wrestling because he's always afraid of blowing out his gas tank. If you see how he does, he fights in spurts, then pulls away, recharges, hits you with a little combo, a little looping, lunging right, and then he recharges again. That's just how he fights, and he never implements his wrestling. So, like I said, it's dangerous. At any time, he could knock out Israel, but for whatever reason, I see Israel finishing him second round, similar kind of like to what he did with Whitaker.
GI, what do you think?
I don't think that he's gonna. I doubt that he's gonna be able to finish Romero because I was looking at Romero's fights with Whitaker. Those both went decision, five full 5 full rounds, and they weren't able to take him out. And then he hasn't fought. The last time he actually fought was against Paulo Acosta. That was last year in August. He fought
Yep.
once, and then he fought one more time in 2018, in June of 2018 against Whitaker, where he lost the second fight by
He's
decision.
probably like 60, and so he can't fight that often.
Yeah.
We don't know his real age. That's so. Israel been messing with him nonstop in press conferences. How old are you really, bro?
I think what it is that Israel's gonna try to dismantle him, break him down, and if Joel tries to go for a takedown out of desperation, Israel has a lot on the ground just from the little bit that he teased when on his last fight. That little bit that he teased where he switched it out from what was it, a triangle to almost an armbar in less than like 5-6 seconds. Um, I don't think Romero's going to want to do that. It would be interesting to see it because I would like to see what Israel really has down there on the ground. But I think he's going to dismantle Romero and stop him. TKO, not knock him out. I don't think anybody can knock out Romero. They're just gonna stop him by the fourth.
So referee will just say that's enough.
That's enough. He can't take
in the
anymore.
fourth round. All right, so we got second round for Israel, and we got fourth round for Israel. My pick in this fight, I really see this fight as something that is gonna play out in a very methodical fashion. I see early on, Yoel's gonna come with power. He's gonna try to, intimidate. He's gonna try to. I think you're gonna actually try to see him grapple and maybe try to do a takedown in the first round, just to see what Israel's made of when he's as fresh as possible. If he can't get him down and he can't hurt him in the first round, I think he'll start to go into, like Potelu said, with the spurts to try to, go the whole fight. But I've seen
Right.
Yoel multiple times, not like he doesn't have a terrible gas tank, but he kind of methodically just stays the same, even if he's questionably losing the fight. He doesn't get that extra, I need this round late in fights. So I think probably what I see happening here is Israel definitely having the speed advantage early and staying away from him and making him use some extra energy in the first round, trying to do some things, and Israel stopping him pretty much from doing those things. And then a switch up in the game plan from Romero, and that's going to allow Israel to keep picking him apart. So I think while Romero has the energy, Israel will be on the bicycle, a lot of movement, but picking him apart slowly, just out landing him and out pointing him. And when Romero finally starts to slow, I think Israel's gonna plant his feet down a little bit more and start throwing a little harder shots. But
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Gi. I don't think Israel can just flat out knock out Romero. I think it's going to be more of it. He may knock him out. It may not even be a ref stoppage, but I think that would have to come late from an accumulation of a lot of shots. And I think that Romero is going to actually probably do better than a lot of people think. I think that he'll probably put Israel in some uncomfortable situations. He'll get him against the cage here and there, and there'll be some moments for Israel that are dangerous. But at the end of the day, I see Israel actually probably winning this fight by decision. And it'll be a clear-cut decision where he definitely gets the win. But I think Romero sticks around until the end, most likely. If he goes out, I'd say like 5th round, like just because he's maybe tried too hard to catch the guy you can't hit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the speed difference is so between the speed of Adesanya being that much quicker and the footwork of Adesanya being that much better. I just see Romero having to do a lot of chasing, and
yeah.
that's not a good look in this fight for him. Israel needs a guy that, a guy that's going to beat Israel is going to either be so much of a beast that you can't escape him when he grabs you, which I don't think. I think Romero has that shot early. That's why I said he'll probably go for it early. He's going to have the strength advantage, but I just don't see it in this fight. I can't see Israel getting laid out by some, crazy Yoel Romero shot, or he's not the kind of guy that's gonna get hit with a flying knee in the face. You know what I mean? Like that's just not what I ever envisioned happening. His reflexes are too good. His footwork is too good. He's always so focused in there. He sees everything coming and he moves out of the way a lot. He doesn't. He hardly ever eats very clean shots.
And you got to
So
think also Israel's reach is going to
yeah,
be a problem for Romero. So Israel is going in first. That guy is smart as hell. So he
yep,
already knows exactly what he's going to do. Yeah, he knows that Romero is not going to be able to come in straight through. He's going to have to swing haymakers, which Israel is going to be able to duck those and move out of the way easily. And I think he's going to start chopping because he's also got leg reach. He's going to start chopping at Romero's legs to see how much damage he can give him.
that too. Bama fan weighed in. Bama says he's going with Israel in this fight. So he agrees with all three of us as well. Going with Israel. I didn't see Mark pick anybody in this
This
one.
is this
But
is more dangerous than you guys are saying, though. I mean,
no, I agree.
Ro-
I said like
Yoel's not slow at all. He's quick
no,
as heck.
he
And
is, but
those lunging, looping shots that he throws in
he's
when he
not
just
slow.
dashes in,
He's not slow at
he
all.
could definitely catch you.
Absolutely. I'm
Right.
not saying that he's slow. I'm just saying Israel is that fast. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just crazy fast. He's faster than everybody
What
else.
I'm saying is that Yoel in those crazy spurts, those dashing forward spurts or lunges, when he throws those haymakers, he's as fast. He just can't keep that up.
Yeah, you can't keep it up. But
Can't keep it up.
It's not
And
only
that's what
about
Israel is
Israel's punching speed. It's about his reflexes and
His
about his
footwork.
defense. You know what I mean? Like I think he'll be able to avoid getting hit clean by those haymakers, even though they're
yeah.
fast.
And that's where that's where the leg kicks are going to come in handy too, because and also for Israel with that reach, he'll be able to just back off just like he was doing with Silva. Remember, he was just backing off like this with his
Yep.
arms. He can do that easily with Romero and just kick the knees or the thighs and slow him down.
Yeah, I mean, look. So at the end of the day, we make our picks. We got them in. The last thing we should do is check out the Draftkings real quick and maybe everybody take a look at it and give some of their, like top ideas for picks or things to stay away from if you guys play DraftKings. If you don't, I highly recommend y'all check it out. I'm not telling you to go gamble your money
Yo,
away. If you got if you got a gambling problem, maybe you shouldn't. But if you like to just have some fun with like the way fantasy sports works and do it while watching a UFC event, It adds a lot of fun to the game, and you can play for as little as 50 cents or a quarter even, or free with your friends if you got a bunch of friends that sign up and you just want to, go against each other and see who picks the best. So for me,
Yo, Lee.
yeah.
Yo, you should try to make we should try to set one up if your followers they wanna go ahead and we should try to make a huge one.
I do. I want
Start
to do
off with
that.
like
I'm gonna.
30, 40 heads and
I
then
actually have
more.
a league already set up, but
Yeah,
it just right now me and GI are the only ones in it. So I'll start putting it in the description of the videos if people want to join, like a link to it or something. You know what I mean? Or they could just send me their Draftkings name and I could invite them into that league. So if any of
That'll
you
be
guys
fun,
that
man. You imagine a whole shitload of us in there,
yeah,
everybody
it'd be a
betting.
lot of fun, man. A lot of fun to like just see who comes out on top. Maybe we could do some kind of like giveaways or somebody comes on the show when they win, stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool.
That would
You
be
know,
cool.
you know what we should do? We should do kind of like you see what Joe Rogan does, the fight companion,
Yep.
kind of like a DraftKings companion, and you have a live feed and we're all watching it, and everybody's commenting.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Having the DraftKings up while we
That'll be
watch the
pretty
fights.
cool.
That would definitely be cool.
Yeah, DraftKings
I don't know if
companion.
they'll let me like full screen this though. You know what I mean? But what I could
Yeah.
do, what I believe I can do here is I can do this. Let me try this real quick because the only thing that matters here, I can do this. See? So I can zoom this to make this a lot easier for everybody to look at because this is all that matters right here.
Yeah.
So while this is zoomed in like this, you can look at the salaries of these guys, and this is their fantasy points per fight, their win-loss record, and you have each person and their opponent. So, like I said earlier, you need to make 6 fighters over here. Your total salary is 5,000. You got to pick 6 between these guys. And this is obviously fictional salary. This is kind of set by Vegas odds and also some things DraftKings does. And that's why I was saying earlier, like we all just said, Yoel Romero is a very dangerous guy. Adesanya is the second highest priced guy on here, which makes Yoel the second lowest priced guy on here because he's opposite of Adesanya. So these are kind of things to look at, fights to stay away from. Like, we were saying earlier, what was the fight we said could go either way? It was you'll find them in the middle here. So around 8,000 here, 8,000, 8,100, 8,079. So here you got somewhere in here is where you're gonna find. Here's Polyana Viana, right? And she is fighting Whitmire. So where's Whitmire at? She should be. Where the hell did she go? Oh, right here. So look, Viana, Whitmire, they're literally the same price. That tells you that that's basically anyone's fight. That's how Vegas sees it, and that's what DraftKings did. So when you pick this, you can expect this to be a low played combination on DraftKings, which actually, if you pick it and it works out in your favor because hardly anybody has it, could turn out really good on your card. But it's also very, very risky. So I would recommend maybe if you're doing a tournament where there's 10,000 people in, maybe it's a fight that you take a look at and you say, all right, I'll take a chance with one of them to try to make my card a little different than other people's cards, because most people probably won't take that chance, being that it's so close and so even. And then your next one is going to be the first fight on the early prelims, Bat Jarrell versus Kennedy. So you got Bat Jarrell at 8,200 and Kennedy's at 8,000. And, again, close on Vegas odds and close here. The further away you get from here is more expected of who's going to win. So your biggest expectance is that Vieira is going to beat Safarov. But Podelu already said he likes Safarov, right? For the fight? Is that you that said that?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, so if you like Safarov and you think he's going to win, and he does win, and most people take Vieira because they expect him to win, and you got Safarov on your card, you got the cheapest fighter on the whole card, and he pulls off a win, you're in great shape because you're saving money for the guys that should win later. You got to look for a couple of upsets in here or pick a couple of the close ones in order to afford the ones you really like. So I'll build a card here, and no, you two bastards, it's not going to be the card I put in DraftKings either. So don't be trying to take my picks. I'm just going to build one. I got to do more research. I do a lot of research before I make my final card. But I made it well known that I don't think JJ's winning her fight. So let me go ahead and take Weili Zhang. All right. I'm gonna put her in my pick. Now if you see before I made that pick, my average remaining per player was 8,333. Weili Zhang costs more than that, so she drops your average remaining to 8,220. So every person you pick above 8,333 is gonna make you have to pick somebody lower at a certain point while you make up the card. I love O'Malley. We all said O'Malley's probably gonna win. I'm gonna take him. Let's put O'Malley in here, right?
It's expensive, man.
He's expensive though. You dropped me down to 8,000 now average remaining. So now you're already in that mixed category. If you start picking 8,000s, you're at 81, 81, 8,082, 79. You got to be all in this zone salary wise. And this is the last place that you really want to be unless you have really researched these fighters and feel like somebody should have been a much bigger favorite than what they are in this middle zone. This middle zone is the biggest danger zone because these really are considered anybody's fights, even on paper. Of course, like Potelu said earlier, Vieira could get knocked out easily or lose to Safarov one way or another very easily. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't pick in the middle. It's just generally a more risky area to be around this marker zone in the middle here. So I'm going to see if I can avoid that at this point because I haven't done the research. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say at $7,000, I like Yoel Romero for that price. I think he's going to stick around long enough and he'll get some points because he can lose. If you pick a guy at this low price, you're not expecting them to win. You just need them to get you maybe 35, 40 points and then they're worth $7,000. So I'm going to say maybe Romero gets me 35, 40 points in a loss, and he'll be worth the $7,000. And look, I just got my price point right back up to where it started. So maybe I can go now and try to pick somebody higher. Maybe not all the way up here, but let's say I like, I don't know, Lee over Magny, right? Let's just say I like this fight, and I say I'm going to pick Lee over Magny. That's 8,600. Now I'm down to 82. And again, you're right back in the middle zone. So do you start playing the rest of your card in the middle zone, or do you go all the way down and pick somebody else? Well, if you're Potelu and you're going to pick Safarov, right, you're going to go, okay, now I got 9,500 left because I just took a really cheap guy. And now I can go anybody I want. So maybe you want to stack Adesanya with Yoel, or maybe you don't, and maybe you just want to go, you can decide. Like I like Polyana Viana. I think even though that's that middle zone, I like her to win this fight. Maybe I'll take her at 81. I got 1,400 left. Well, now I can get rid of Safarov or Yoel. Let's get rid of Yoel. I'm at 8,400. What can I do? I can take Cowboy over Griffin if I want. I could get Deron Wynn over Meerschaert, right? So you start playing around, you wind up with options in here. So let's just say, and it'll let you pick somebody you can't afford either. Let's just say I got rid of Yoel. I really want Israel instead. Now I'm minus 800. I got to do something about that. Obviously, I can't get rid of Safarov. He's as cheap as they come. So you see, once you start stacking these guys up here, 89, 91, 92, 86, it's very, very difficult to, get it. I got to get rid of, my only choice here is to get rid of Polyana. That's the only way I can make it. Now I need somebody at 7,300 or below. Oh, look who's here. JJ. Do I think JJ sticks around long enough and has a high enough output and it's a 5-round fight? Sure. So now I'm stacking Jiang and JJ and I have no money left. Without any research, I could look at that card and go, that's not too bad. Because it's a K. At 7,300, she can lose as long as she gets me 50 points. You know what I mean? You don't want her and Safarov to lose, though. You'd only take Safarov if you think Safarov is going to win here. Because Safarov could lose in the first round real quick. He's not I don't think JJ will lose in the first round real fast. So I'd feel more comfortable doing this. I kind of don't like Safarov, but I don't have any more money. He's the cheapest guy. Maybe I could get to Romero instead of Safarov if I don't feel comfortable. How could I do that? I could get rid of Safarov, and now I need to knock down $100 from any of these guys. So if I want to look at I don't know who's $100 cheaper than Adesanya. Israel's 9,200. There's nobody. I'd have to take Mark Madsen at 9,000. So let's take Mark Madsen at 9,000. Drop off Adesanya. I got 7,100. I can take Yoel now. You know what I mean? Like the possibilities here are very endless for how you want to play this card. But it's really your research, what's in your head, what you want to do, and that's pretty much how that works. So, with that being said, I'm going to clear this lineup and ask you guys, everyone here, give me your favorite pick. It doesn't have to be like because they're expensive, like just the combination of price versus what value, what you think as far as them winning.
Well, I think O'Malley, Israel, and Wei Lee are given pretty much,
All
unless
right, so
you're Buffalo.
O'Malley, Israel, Weili Zhang. You got a $7,600 stack left for your last three fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
so
that's where the rest of it comes into play. But GI's got these three as his favorite. Overall on the card, they are expensive, but if you want wins, that's what he thinks it comes down to. Those are your three. So let's clear that out. Botelou, who's your three favorites for you think definitive wins on the card that you would add into your Draftkings lineup?
JJ.
All right, so let's go down here. JJ.
My three, huh? Dariush.
Dariush. All right.
Mhm. And O'Malley.
And O'Malley. So you see, that's two very different strategies, only one person the same. And he actually has just about as much money left as when he started. So he could take, since he doesn't feel so confident about Israel as he did before, as I did or as GI did when he picked him just now. This makes a very different card with what's left just off three fighters, because he took the cheaper fighter and JJ, he feels confident that she's going to win. That left him a lot of money. And Dariush cost less than the other guys that GI also picked. So, that changes things. So my three favorites on this card, I'd probably go with price to value wise as far as how I would see a win. I don't think Magny's going to win. I like Lee at 8,600. Price to value. I think Lee can knock him out. So I'll take that one. Aside from that, I got to go Weili Zhang at 89 and O'Malley. That would be my three. So I'm similar to, GI, but I have O'Malley in a little cheaper. I didn't add Israel in because I feel like Romero is dangerous enough for me to take a little caution there, as well as just going top three. If we were doing top four, I'd put Israel next. But that's where I'd go. And now I got a little bit more money than GI does to play with from here. Now, what about three people you absolutely would not pick on this card at any value? What do you think, GI?
um,
I'll scroll back and forth on it for you a little bit if you need me to. So you got
I
starting from the cheaper
actually,
guys.
yeah, I wouldn't pick Hubbard.
All right, Hubbard versus Madsen.
Yep. Um, Emerson Chikadze, that's a tough one. Oh wait, no, that's not a tough one. I wouldn't pick Chikadze on that one.
Where's
Number
Chikadze?
11. Yeah.
Oh, right here. So you won't pick him. All right.
Um, and I actually wouldn't pick the fight itself. I wouldn't pick which is Max Griffin Vera, but um Viana and Whitmire. I wouldn't pick Viana.
You wouldn't pick Polyana Viana. Okay. So there's your GI's three to avoid right there. Is Hubbard, Chikadze, and Viana. And obviously we can't really like there's 9,000 left. So if you pick these three, you could go pick three beasts.
Yeah.
But that's not the point there. We'll just put those three up there. Botelou, 3 people you absolutely would not pick on this card, DraftKings wise.
Scroll up.
Scroll up. All right, hang on.
Yeah.
So we're at the top here.
Where was it? Scroll a little bit down. Yeah, the Whitmire Viana.
You want to put both of them as you wouldn't pick either one?
Yeah, put them both. They're dead even.
All right. So you're going back to the strategy I was talking about earlier. Like, you don't want to be in the middle if you can avoid it.
And the other one that I wouldn't take would be the go slightly down more. The Batgirl and Canetti.
Oh, where is that? Oh, like you wouldn't pick either of them, you mean?
Nope.
All right. So you got 4 basically. So you're saying just stay away from those 2 fights as a whole. So it's
Me
those.
personally, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm kind of with you. I don't want to pick this fight, although I like Polyana Viana. If I was in a tournament, I might throw her in there like a big, just because, like I said, nobody might have her and it'll make your scorecard different. Um, might separate you from the pack if she wins. But I also think it's going to be a close fight, and I can't, so I probably wouldn't pick either of those people. Um, in like especially in like a smaller contest like ours, because it's an unnecessary gamble in something that's smaller. But in a big tournament, I very well might take Pollyanna. Or if you're making more than one entry, you could do the same entry with the same 5 people and just switch Pollyanna for Whitmire on both cards, and you'll come out with one of them winning, unless there's a draw. But as a whole, as people that I wouldn't pick, I'm not picking Quinones against O'Malley. I wouldn't do that. Uh, I can't say I wouldn't pick JJ because I think at 7,300 she holds value, even though I think she loses. I think she lasts long enough to have some value at 7,300. So depending on the way my card is playing out, I could actually pick her. Depends on what else I got on the card and if I need to pick her though. Other people I would not pick. I feel again really uncomfortable in. I'm not. I don't know, man. It's really tough to say, but I don't think in this card I could possibly pick Neil Magny. I just don't see him winning anymore at this point. So I'd probably take Magny off the list, and I'd probably throw Hubbard off the list, and those would probably be my 3 that I'd most likely stay away from as far as picks. So if you guys want to get into DraftKings at all, I mean that's what we just kind of showed you a little bit of how it works. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to play for money. You can do it for free with your friends. Uh, it's pretty cool overall thing to do. So let's slide back over here.
What do you think is going to be fight of the night?
Man, fight of the night. Overall fight of the night. I think there's a lot of them that could be fight of the night, man. Like there's a lot of really good barn burners on that. But I believe if Yoel holds up and he's got a gas tank and that fight goes 5 rounds, that's a good shot at fight of the night. I also think if JJ doesn't get knocked out and she makes it 5 rounds, she's got the stamina to make it a good fight. That could be a fight of the night candidate. And I gotta say, whatchamacallit, Cowboy and Griffin could easily be. I mean, like that could definitely be fight of the night. Oliveira versus Griffin. Just as far as because fight of the nights are usually barn burners. So I think that's probably my number one pick that ends up getting fight of the night is Cowboy versus Griffin.
Yeah,
Just
I think so
because
too.
you need a perfect storm for the other two to be that action packed the whole way, because they're also 5 round fights, so you're going to expect them to be a little slower. You know, Cowboy Oliveira and Max Griffin are just going to go 100 miles an hour for 15 minutes if it lasts that long.
Yeah.
So that's probably my fight of the night pick. I think if Magny can hang around, which he might be able to do, him and Jing Liang also throw a lot. That could be. There's so many good choices. I mean, even Dariush versus Close has a possibility.
Actually, the Magni and Lee, that can possibly be a knockout of the night.
Yeah, I mean that it's very possible too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That one, or if something crazy happens in the Stylebender versus Soldier of God.
yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, it is a lot of fights. I mean, even on the undercard, on the prelims, like your prelim highlight of O'Malley, Quinones is. I don't expect him to win, but he could put up a good fight. Uh,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
don't. I see him going all the way.
it's there's a lot of possible good fights in here, but I strongly believe that outside of the main card, your best possibility of somebody stealing fight of the night is the O'Malley Quinones fight if Quinones lasts the whole fight and puts up a good fight. Other than that, I see it coming from the main card. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I think we covered all of that.
It should
I
be a
will,
good.
when this video gets processed, if there's a link that I can put, I'll definitely put a link to Draftkings itself if you guys want to make accounts. We already have a group that we do. We haven't played in it yet, but me and GI are in there. We'll get Otelu in there too. And
Yeah,
if any of you guys want to jump in the group, if there's a direct link to join the group, I'll add it. If not, I'll add a link to Draftkings and just send me a message. You can email me using the about section of this channel to send me your DraftKings ID and I'll add you in if you want to get in. Other than that, I mean it's all up to you guys. If you guys want to play, we're more than happy to make like a uh giant DraftKings, and it'll be a lot
yeah.
of
We get
fun.
some
Can
kings.
you
We
can
get
you
to the top
imagine
top top
even
five. Whoever gets in that top five,
Yeah, we could do
doing
something
it.
crazy. Like I
a
mean,
dollar?
we could
Imagine
do
a dollar. Everybody puts in a dollar, and 100 folks get in there.
Yeah, you could do that. And we could maybe do
Fun.
something like let's say, everybody puts in a dollar and or whatever it is, say a dollar, and we can make like you can do anything from like the top half win to top 10 win or whatever it is, you know. So you could put in a dollar and the top 10 guys basically win like $10 almost, because DraftKings takes their little bit of money out of it, but you can make it fun like that. And maybe the person who wins every DraftKings event, that person could come on the show and be on one of the screens right here, and you know what I mean, like, that'll be fun too. So we could do a
Yeah,
lot of cool stuff. Maybe a little,
Mark and but light post wrong
yeah.
live.
So we'll be back soon, guys. We'll wrap up the show here. Stick around, whoever's in here, because we got a pretty cool outro that you guys can see for the first time. At least I think it's cool. I made it, so of course I think it's cool. But it's like we'll be back maybe Sunday or something, or if we're all awake, Saturday right after the fights. Come on, and we can sit here, and me and Gi can just go ha 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 ha, and tell Potelu how bad JJ got beat up. You know,
She's still she'll still have Instagram.
yeah. She'll still have Instagram. You'll still get to look at her, bro. It's okay. She might
Her
she might be a little deformed in the face, but she'll still be pretty to you.
Haters.
It's fine, bro.
her and
Haters.
her and Paige Van Zandt will have a calendar for you ready.
That's right. All right, guys. Any last words y'all want to say to the people?
It's gonna be a good night of fights. Enjoy it.
GI?
Yes, sir. Just make sure if you guys have a chance, if you have an Instagram, make sure you follow Fight Rant so you guys can keep up with all the fights as well. I don't post much. I just post mostly the schedules. That's for boxing and MMA or whatnot. And yeah, don't miss the fights tomorrow. It's gonna be a good one.
All right. All I gotta say is
Yes, sir.
stay positive all the time, people. Love life,
Stay
enjoy the fights tomorrow night, and we really look forward to it. Should be a great card. So
Peace.
I'm gonna kick it on out of here. You guys can check out the outro real fast. Peace out, everybody. Be good. STM Sports out.